back. Give it up for Louis Cato and the Late Show Band, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest tonight is a two-time Grammy winner, a best-selling author, and a former First Lady. Her new book is called The Look. Please welcome back to The Late Show, First Lady Michelle Obama. That's lovely. Sit down. We gotta go.
Woo! Okay. Good night.
Good to see you.
Pleasure.
That's all we have time for, folks.
Oh, my God.
Lovely to see you
guys.
again. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
As you can tell, it makes everybody happy to see you.
It makes me
here.
so happy.
We were talking, my producer and I were talking this afternoon. It's amazing to realize that while you spent 8 years in the White House, you have now been out of the White House for 8 years.
Longer. It's closer to 9,
plus,
and I'm counting.
All right. And I'm just curious, obviously there are a bunch of changes that come with becoming the First Lady and living in the White House and having that public life. I'm just curious, in the almost 9 years since you left, have you, I mean, there have to be other changes. Have you changed back into the person you were before? Or have you moved on to become another person that you did not expect?
That is a very, very good question.
That's what I do, baby.
I know, you're good at it.
Come on.
Woo, deep, we go deep. You know, after being the First Lady, living that life, you were never the exact same person that you were. So I think I am a new and improved version of myself. But I do carry the wisdom and the joy of those 8 years, and I hold it in my heart because, as I've always said, it was a true honor. I remind people that being the First Lady allowed me to see the country in a way that most people do not. And what I saw for 8 years, 10 if you count the 2 years of campaigning, was a decent country with decent people that all want the same thing. And it is so important for us to remember that that is exactly who we are. And we have to hold that truth because it keeps me going. So I think I'm tougher. I think I'm more confident. I think those 8 years made me very clear about what I wanted and didn't want. And time. I mean, I'm 61 now, y'all. So there's just a level of wisdom that comes with that. And I don't know if I can attribute that to the 8 years of the White House or just 61 years of living life.
Yeah. And you're empty nesters now.
They're gone.
Are you and Barack out there like traveling the world and having fun together, or?
We are having a lot of fun together. You know, he's still working, he's campaigning, he's still trying to carry democracy on his back.
Please send our thanks.
I will.
Now,
I will.
You've got a beautiful new book here.
I got a new
It's
book.
called The Look. It's about your style and the soft power of fashion.
Yeah.
And you know, American culture is part of our soft power, and fashion is part of our culture. How did you wield it?
Ooh, carefully, thoughtfully, strategically.
When did you realize that it was something to wield, that it was actually, it was a power?
I think right away. I mean, the campaign was beautiful, but, you know, I felt the politics of it fast. I learned a lot of lessons about what I had to look out for and how quickly people were willing to take my story and distort it So I knew very quickly that I had to control every aspect of how I showed up in the world. It was a race to let the country learn me from me before they learned this other crazy woman that they were talking about, the angry, bitter black woman that was a terrorist and a danger to her country and didn't love her country. And how I showed up in the world played a huge role in just reminding people that we're normal people. Yes, we're black, but we bleed red and we love red, white, and blue. And a lot of that went into thinking strategically about how I showed up every day.
Now, how did this come about? This is a famous. This is a famous cover.
This is my last Vogue cover. I've been on the cover of millions of magazines. Millions, that's an exaggeration. A lot of them. And being on the cover was a strategy that I don't think initially the West Wing understood. You know, they're a bunch of guys over in the West Wing. They don't know nothing about fashion. And they thought, well, maybe being on the cover of Vogue anytime was sending the wrong message. But what I understood was that the opportunity for a black woman to be on the cover of a style and fashion magazine that was not a model or an actress was a rare thing. And messaging was everything, you know. And when was the last time there's been somebody on there that isn't a model or an actress? I know that growing up, who I saw on the covers of magazines, who I saw on TV as a young girl really mattered to my self-esteem. So I wanted to take advantage of the fact that as the First Lady, yes, you can be smart and educated and beautiful and sexy and interesting and all those things. And yes, you can be a black woman, a tall 5'11" black woman. Did you see the shoulder? You missed that. Did you see that?
Sure, I'm just trying not to react. Okay. Okay, let's talk about some of the fashion. This is
Look at Stephen
the
talking
first
about
inauguration.
fashion. Look at him. It's
Oh,
like,
hey,
let's
baby.
talk about fashion.
I can talk about bias cut and a Shangtung bodice.
It's bodice
baby.
cut.
What?
It's bodice cut. Is it bias cut?
Well, a bias cut is when you cut the fabric so that it hangs.
Look
but
at
it
you.
hangs in sort of a very loose way. Bias cut.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
I have to discuss this stuff with Evie before we go out at night. I have to have opinion about whether the neutral shoes or the black shoes and how high the heel is supposed to be. You know?
Well done.
I know the answer is always, you look fantastic.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
So here you are in your first inaugural ball in 2009. This is your first gown right there. This was a gown designed by designer Jason Wu, and one example of the pieces you chose from diverse designers.
This was the first opportunity that I had to make a statement about what was going to be different about this White House.
Can I see this close up here, just real close? Look at Barack Obama right there. Ladies, find yourself someone who looks at you the way he's looking at you right there.
What a cutie.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful dress. It's a beautiful dress. But the message in the dress, selecting Jason Wu, not going with a traditional fashion house, was a statement about opening up opportunity. Oscar de la Renta was somebody that tended to dress the first ladies for inauguration. And my thought was, you did it. You've dressed everyone. You know, this is a time to really open it up and give some young designers an opportunity, some minority designers. So it wasn't, the dress was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, ladies. The first measure, is it cute? Does it feel good? And that dress was beautiful. And the story of Jason, an immigrant, the inclusivity, inclusion. Fashion for me was a message of inclusion. We supported American designers intentionally. We supported diverse designers. And this book is as much a tribute to all the people who worked behind the scenes. I didn't talk about fashion because I thought it could be a distraction. I wanted my message, my work to speak for itself. But let me tell you, the designers, my style team,
Here's your style team right here. I was very
We
curious
call
about this.
them trifecta, although there are more than 3 of them.
These are the people who advised you on style, styled you, and also gave you advice on designers?
These are the people who've been with me the longest: hair, makeup, styling. There have been more people that have been part of the team throughout the 8 years of the White House, and shout out to everyone. But this team has been with me the longest, and they, you know, they're behind the scenes. There's nothing glamorous about styling the First Lady. I mean, I talk about some of those behind the scenes stories, what it's like to travel and do a foreign trip, and they're in hold somewhere in, you know, without air conditioning, waiting for me for hours to touch up a lip. They're usually thrown in the third helicopter. They're not in Marine One. Yes, there's a third staff helicopter, and it's terrifying. I mean, they're buckled down face to face, you know. It's not Marine One, you know. There's the steerage, and they're in the other one.
Right. You realize the rest of us don't know what Marine One is like.
Marine One.
You guys know what Marine One is like, you know?
Yeah, guys.
Totally
it's
different
the helicopter.
pretzels back there.
It's the presidential helicopter.
Yeah. Is it nice?
It's okay. For helicopters, you know. I mean, it's a government helicopter, so.
One state dinner, and there were a bunch of state dinners. I managed to go to one with you.
You were my date.
I was your date for the French state dinner.
Even though you were shocked by it.
I was
You
completely
kept saying,
shocked.
Is this my chair? It's like, yeah, just sit down.
This is the state dinner. You were wearing Versace chainmail.
Versace.
That's another look of admiration from Barack Obama. Were state dinners fun? Were they romantic?
You know, at the beginning, we would have a ritual where I would get ready with my team, and the girls would come in and sneak a peek, and Barack wouldn't know what I was wearing, and he would sit in the cross hall in the residence, and every state dinner he waited for me to come out, and everybody came out, like prom. Like, the team came out, the butlers came out. They were like, what's he gonna do when he sees this dress? The girls were like, they wanted to see his eyes go, ooga, ooga. That's from the cartoons, people, way back when.
Give him a little shoulder. There you go.
And yeah, I would walk out, and he would just go nuts. And then, you know, we just tried to treat it like a date. You know, walk downstairs, go out to the North Portico with thousands of flashing lights and the silence. It was just so interesting because we would greet the leaders on the North Portico. We'd walk out, that official greeting that you often see, and it's complete silence except for the press just facing you with flashing lights going on and on. And in that moment before work started, because once the leaders got out of the car, it was a work night. We always tried to have a little moment of, hey, you know, you look cute, you know. And then we wouldn't talk to each other for the rest of the night.
You're stuck with guys like me.
Yeah, you know,
exactly.
I mean, I'm trying to entertain my seatmate, you.
Now, men have it easier. I'm a cheap date. Now,
men have it so easy.
They got the tuxedo, that's it. It's just like, what style tie are you gonna wear?
Now,
did it make you happy when he got trouble for the tan suit? Did that?
I was like, welcome
Did you get
to
any joy
my
out
world.
of that?
I certainly did.
I thought it was a lovely suit.
And then he was like, see, that's why I never wear anything different, you know? In all these beautiful state dinner pictures where I'm in dress, beautiful gown after beautiful, he's right there, same tux, literally, y'all, the same tux. There weren't 2 tuxes. There was 1 tux.
Is there anything in his wardrobe you want to kick out now?
Oh man, he's really stepping it up. He says that every time he puts something on, he's like, I'm stepping up my game. I'm with. Yeah, he does sound like that.
That's spot on.
I'm stepping
That
up
is
my game.
spot on.
Stepping up my game. But he used to wear the same Gap khaki pants. And like any man, his shopping was just going to get a new pair of the exact same pants.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
That's crazy. That's
sure.
crazy. I was like, try blue, try green. You know, let's go with a different fabric. So, but he is definitely stepping up his game. The girls give him a little. We really try to encourage him when he comes out in something like, that's a color. We're like, look at you in purple. Oh, you're so cute.
How brave.
That's so brave, so brave.
As I said, it's a beautiful book, and many of the photos were taken in the East Wing.
Yes.
And Betty Ford once
Remember
said,
that?
Yeah. Vaguely. You come in for the state dinner free there. I remember that.
So
Is that Betty Ford once said, if the West Wing is the mind of the nation, then the East Wing is the heart. As someone who worked and lived there, and the First Lady's office was in the East Wing, tell me about the heart of that place that is now lost.
Ooh, you know, that's where life happened. I mean, the West Wing was work. Sometimes it was sadness. It was problems. It was the guts of the White House. And the East Wing was where you felt light. You know, that's where children came. We had puppies. I mean, it literally apples and, you know, and it was an important distinction because West Wing team, they needed that break. You know, they needed to come to a place where they could be reminded of the reason we were doing this. But let me tell you, Stephen, people have asked me how I felt about the move, and what I will remind people is that house is not our house. We never viewed it as our house. We were there for a time, we had a job to do, we always felt it was the people's house. And the notion that, and yes, every family, every administration has a right and a duty to maintain the house, make investments and improvements, and there are plenty of things that needed fixing there. But the thing that it makes me confused. I am confused by what are our norms, what are our standards, what are our traditions. I just feel like what is important to us as a nation anymore because I'm lost. There were a whole standard of norms and rules that we followed to a T that we painstakingly tried to uphold because it was bigger than us. That East Wing, that's not my feelings about that. It's not mine. It is ours. But we have to get, as a country, decide what rules are we following and who is to abide by them and who isn't. I am lost. And I hope that more Americans feel lost in a way that they want to be found. Again, because it's up to us to find what we're losing.
The last chapter of the book is called Confidently Me. And lately we've been talking about your confidence in saying no. And I'm curious, do you find it freeing to say no? For instance, you did not go to the inaugural this time
that was
around.
freeing.
Yes.
The beauty about understanding my power of saying no, it frees me up to say a lot of yes. But yes to the things that I want to do in the way that I want to do them. I think that's something, you know, you get at 61. And I always say, I think we have a hard time owning our wisdom. You know, you all men, you think you're wise at 30. It's like, I know something. You know, it takes us a lifetime to feel confident in stating and identifying the things we know are true. We need a lifetime of success to say, well, maybe I know something. Maybe I got a few things right. Maybe I can trust my gut finally at 61. And I'm also at the point in life where, and my team thinks this is morbid, I mean, at 61, there are a limited amount of summers, you know? I mean, if I'm lucky and blessed and stay healthy, maybe 30, all right? Let's say I got 30 summers left, and that's great. But let me tell you, I want to be mindful about those 30 summers. I want to know what I'm doing with them. I don't want to look up and have 10 years go past and go, what happens? Because guess what? I think life is beautiful, and I want it to slow down a little bit. And if you don't slow it down for yourself, people will fill it up with stuff, and you'll look up and a summer has gone by and you don't know where it's gone. So I love life so much that I want to take it slow. And part of taking it slow is learning to be very clear about how I want to spend my time.
Well, Thank you for spending some of it here.
Thank you.
Enjoy every summer. The book is The Look. It's available now. First Lady Michelle Obama, everybody. We'll be right back with Robert Plant.